Nice, beautiful day out there that God gave us, and can't thank Him enough for those days. I'm a summertime person anyway, so I'll take it. But do want to welcome everybody out. Just a reminder, we'll do a business meeting after service, so everybody wants to stay around for that, and we'll have that going on. Yep. I can probably get it. Yeah, I probably ain't gonna work too good on that. I ain't got a certain time. Yeah. Anybody got any prayer requests tonight?
Remember Stephanie, she's flying back tonight.
I remember Jody too. They're having Bible school, and Sarah had agreed to teach Bible school all week, so that's where she's at tonight. Her and Macy's at Bible school, so.
They're having Bible school down at Belva too.
Bill, okay.
Council starts its radiation tomorrow, so remember council.
And Elaine's still in the hospital from her surgery.
And we're all the ones that's not here with us tonight for whatever reason. Just remember them. Yeah. But y'all remember us this weekend too. We got to travel around for Briar playing that ball, so just have to see how everything goes over the weekend. All depends on winning and losing, where we're at and how we're doing and where we're going, so can't really make no plans outside of that.
I told Brian he's going all the way right now.
Don't play unless you take the win.
Well, you know, we can manage Sunday. We'll manage. We'll do fine. We'll have a service.
I appreciate it. And it's good to know that. Should be able to, you know. Should.
Well, you know, if a church can't give their pastor a day off occasionally, it's not a very strong church.
Yeah.
So we need that. We don't want you gone forever, but we can make it a Sunday or two now.
Doesn't mean we
Yeah.
won't miss you.
Oh,
Or talk about you. I mean, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I mean, pray for you.
That's the best part, ain't it?
Pray talk about you when you need it.
well, you know, they talk about, well, the preacher was long-winded. I think our service was probably longer the last time you were gone. What
Yeah.
is it you're normally here?
Don't want to be here.
Yep.
We'll make it.
Remember the guy at work I mentioned last week, his wife's pregnant? They're gonna induce her either tomorrow night or Friday night. So, he'll be having another.
Yep.
Pray everything goes good with that. And just, you know, my back has been horrible, so. And I go to the surgeon on Monday, and I got some other scans I gotta take and do on Monday too, so just kind of be with that.
Yep. Yep.
Is Stephanie still sick?
What's that?
Stephanie, is she still sick?
Yeah, she's still not,
Not well?
yeah, I don't know what's going on. She's in Philadelphia and, you know, and
She just missing Mike.
yeah, yeah, she's busy, she's funny.
Oh no, she made me call him. She didn't even call him.
He calls me at 3 o'clock in the morning, which I'm glad though. I'm glad, you know, we got people we can, you know, that's a blessing to me.
Yep.
Yeah, because I don't understand, I mean, I don't know. You know, rub some dirt on it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, walk it off. You know, that's all I
Yeah.
can
Oh,
say.
yeah, that
You
wouldn't
know.
happen.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
That was not happening.
That sounds like my answer, Mom.
Yeah.
Walk it off.
Yeah, you're
All right, get up.
She couldn't even walk.
Tape it up with electrical.
Yeah.
Now, electrical tape probably would have cured her, but she didn't have it. Adam, still remember my daughter and son-in-law? He's still looking for a job, and the company that he was working for that lost the contract is giving him a hard time about giving him the money that they owe him, and he's doing interviews and he's had a couple promising interviews, but, you know, it's worrisome when you don't know where your paycheck's coming from and
Yeah.
you've got bills to pay and kids to feed, so just keep them in your prayers that God will put him where he wants it.
Yeah. I remember all them prayer requests been coming across our messenger too. There, this seems like there's been quite a few here lately, you know, and, I know Debbie, she's battling with that, whatever she's got, you know, she had the hives and all that stuff, so, remember that, Missy, she's been doing the same thing, she put a couple on there, but, now she put one there battling addiction and things tonight, I read, so, let's remember all them prayer requests, they're out there for that, and, mention them. And I did too, I seen on Facebook today too, that God brought that to my memory, so we need to pray for her. That little girl at, Katie's mom's been putting on there.
Yeah.
Riley Faith, I think's her name.
Yeah.
I don't, she's a little old kid that's battling cancer and stuff. I don't know. I think it was down to the last straw or no straws, so, from what I read today, so. They're down to, that ain't the last straw. We still got a straw to go, but let's remember that little girl though. All right, if there's nobody else, we'll go to prayer, and each one just lead your own prayers now. Dear Heavenly Father, we appreciate the turn of grace once again this evening, dear Lord. We just thank you for the opportunity to come out to your house and honor your Lord. I thank you for the ones that made their way out tonight also, dear Lord. You just can't bless us anymore, it seems like, dear Lord. We don't want to stop here, you know, we just want to continue to get bigger and better in your faith, dear Lord. We just take this step of faith and just get stronger and bigger in that, dear Lord, that our lives will get brighter and we'll shine our light even more out in this world, you know, the light that somebody can see in the day, Lord. We pray that you can see that. I pray that you be with Sarah tonight, as she's over there with the Bible school, dear Lord. I just pray, you know, tonight that just move her out of the way, dear Lord. Just use her tonight. Let her teach those children something that they can take home to use, maybe share their parents or something, or their grandpa or something that they can use tonight. Lord, I pray that you get ahead of this study that I have on my mind, dear Lord, that you can just take it and use it tonight, dear Lord. We can make it fun, we can make it enjoyable, and also learn about you and all of that. Pray help that for each prayer request spoken tonight. You know, each and every one of them, Lord. With Mike, when he has a Bible study, and we go and visit with him, thank you, Lord, and pray that you be with it. You know, that we can make the right decisions and have the right things going on here, Lord. It seems, it just keeps getting better and better here, Lord. You know, I just pray that you be with it. Pray that you be with the Denver Bible Life, Lord. You know, brother asked me to pray for that. I just pray that, you know, that you can just glorify that, dear Lord. Let the people see that, you know, Jesus is what he's about. That you're going to find, see the tent, thank you, dear Lord, which knows that there's people worshiping Jesus right there. You know, it's a great, wonderful thing. We pray that, you know, you get every church together, dear Lord, be with our nursing home visits, dear Lord, as we join in with Jody and we just go, and we can see something great out of that, dear Lord. You know, so we can see those smiling faces and those eyes light up again when they just hear those songs and those words out of the Bible, dear Lord, the words of you, dear Lord, you know, to help them out and let them see that, dear Lord, you know, if there's one that's here tonight or anywhere that we go that doesn't know you, I just pray that, you know, that they'll come to you, dear Lord, for their sake and find a way to get you. Pray that you be with Brooke, she goes through her battling her cancer and things, dear Lord. Hope Mom and Dad let us keep them strong in that, dear Lord. And there's a lot of pressure, a lot of things on, dear Lord, and I pray that you be with that, and you know, goes to take this, start that other radiation treatment, dear Lord, let's get ahead of that, you know, we know the one that can shrink everything about it, dear Lord. And I pray that, you know, that you can do that, and so, that quality of life, dear Lord, that only you can, you know, that only you can do those things. I just pray that you be with us, dear Lord, take us through this. I pray that you be with us as we travel this weekend, you know, that, wherever we may be, dear Lord, whatever day is our light will shine here, Lord, to give us the opportunity to be able to see and let people see Jesus and everything that we do. We ask all in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, I think let's see, did I forget anything? Song? You wanna sing? You wanna play song?
What are you gonna sing for?
I ain't singing nothing.
Song, Brian, I forgot a song. Everybody start with this, you know, on songs, but I forget it, don't I?
They stole my book. You got another one back there?
Sure do.
1:30. There's some great power in that blood, isn't there? And I was sitting there thinking, I was thinking to myself, well, what if somebody come up and asked me, what do you mean power in the blood? What would I answer? You know, and I love to have that type of mind sometimes. It just gets me prepared for something. Maybe somebody comes up to me and says, they're new at church, and they say, what are they saying about power in the blood? What are they talking about? You know, where you could go with that, what you could tell them. You know,
Saving power.
that's saving power. Right, true, and only one that we can find. All right, well, we will, I'll turn it over to Mike now. And we're going to go play some games. Okay.
What's that problem? Yeah. Yeah, not too long. We'll go easy on you tonight. Probably easier on me, because like I said, my back is not doing well. Gabe, we gonna have any luck, or?
We're gonna try. What
Okay.
line number are we on?
I don't have Steph's computer, she has it with her, so hopefully we'll be able to run this. I like it, I hope you guys enjoy it, I like to visually learn, you know, so. Let me move this to the side here. And we'll be on. Let's see here, 112. That'll work. Okay. And again, we're in Daniel 9, verse 27. And remember, last week, after Messiah was cut off, there was the city was destroyed, and the sanctuary was destroyed. We determined all those time periods and everything. I hope everyone understood that. I hope it's kind of confusing a little bit, but like I said, hopefully you understand it with all the numbers and math and stuff. And then, like we had talked about, Titus coming in and destroying the sanctuary and the temple and the city.
It's
And-
funny that
What
on
that?
my daily Bible quizzes that I have, Titus' name came up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I'm like, I knew that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, good. But, yeah, definitely, and that is such an amazing thing, because if you ask God to reveal those things to you, He will. He speaks about it in James, which is one of my favorite books. And, so then we're going into 9:27, and we're getting, so these are more future events. Remember, this is the 70 weeks of Daniel. This is determined for the people. It's Daniel's people, but we are Jews, spiritual Jews. So it's for us also. It's because we're grafted in. We learned in Romans that we are grafted in. Okay, so let me see if I can get this thing to work. Maybe not. Will this thing work with that, or will you have to go to the next one?
I don't know. Is it on?
Yeah, I got it on.
It's kind of hidden back here.
It's lighting up when I hit it.
Try now.
There we go. Okay, here we go. So I just want to give you a little, let me try to get this one up here so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so this is the Temple Mount as it is today. And as you can see, this wall around here, this would have been where the temple sat in Jesus' time. We know that it was destroyed in AD 70 by Titus. And what we have here is and this is very hard to say, Aqsa, or whatever, mosque. It's a Muslim mosque. And this is also called the Dome of the Rock. And it's the third holiest place for the Muslims. Okay, so we can see this is the spot where is believed to be where Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac. Okay, so now we have the Muslims here. Okay, they believe Muhammad ascended to heaven here. Gee, wonder where they got that idea, you know? And there will be a third Jewish temple on this mount. Somehow, the Antichrist will make this happen. Okay, so this is the way it looks today. In this last week, there's going to be a temple here. You know, because we'll learn this in 9:27. So, let me see if I can get this. All right, yeah, it's good. All right, so 69 weeks are complete. There's 1 week remaining. A very much debated week. I'll just tell you that. All right, so we go back to our timeline. Remember, there was a command to build Jerusalem. Then there was 7 weeks, 49 years. Thing's not. There we go. And then the temple and the city was completed. And remember, that was Artaxerxes in 444 BC. Then there's 62 weeks. Then we have Messiah the Prince. He came into Jerusalem. They said, Hosanna, this is the king. He's riding lowly on a donkey. Just review. Then we have a time period here of, when Messiah was cut off, and then the city and the sanctuary was destroyed. Okay? And I just want to point those things out because, like I said, this is the third temple is coming up. And then there's 1 week left. Okay? So, and we're going to focus on that week. And it's the time of Jacob, Israel's trouble. Okay? Or, like I said, it's Daniel's 70th week, or it's called the time of Jacob. And we know Jacob was the father of the nations, and God changed his name to Israel. So that's why there's a slash there, Jacob, Israel's trouble. I'll get this thing to work. Okay, so let me get this thing down here. I can see it. How is the Antichrist able to do this? In the book of Job, Satan had to ask permission to do the things he did to Job. God was in control of that situation, and God has a plan. So let's go to Daniel 12:1, and we'll try to understand how this is going to happen. All right? So, as Lynn said about me laying foundations, I'm just laying the foundation here on this idea, this trying to figure this out. So, if somebody would want to read 12:1, please.
And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
Okay. So, we see here that the key point here is that it's saying at this time, at this great time of trouble, Michael is going to stand up, or he's going to stand still, or he's going to stop fighting. Okay? And somebody's going to tell him this. Who's Michael's boss? All right? So if you would think about if I was standing up here, I don't know if it's going to be a good example, but if I was standing up here and somebody was standing in front of me, and then somebody was trying to come at me, and that person up here was fighting them off, okay? They were guarding me and guarding me and guarding me. And then the guy that is guarding, his boss says, stand still. Now, could the guy that is coming into the church come at me and defeat me? Of course he could. Of course, So I just wanted you to understand that that's basically what is going on here. All right. I know there's a lot more in here, but he's called the great prince who stands watch over the sons of your people. There's other situations in the Bible where it talks about Michael, defending, Israel, and we have to understand there's a spiritual world that is going on here, a war that we don't see, because Paul tells us, he said, we don't wrestle with flesh and blood. We wrestle with principalities and it's spiritual warfare that we wrestle with. Okay, so like I said, at this time Michael stands still. So God tells him to stand still for a reason. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians 2:6. And somebody read that.
And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time.
Okay. And then 2 Thessalonians 2:7.
For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way.
Okay, so the Thessalonians had a problem with people, false teachers, and you see this a lot in Paul's reading. He'll go to a place, he'll tell them the gospel, and then he gets word, he'll leave, he gets word that, hey, there's false teachers creeping in and teaching false doctrine and stuff. So he says here, and now you know what is restraining, and that he may be revealed in his own time. For the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Okay, so these people are already working, trying to sway the people away. Okay? But only he who now restrains will do so until he is taken out of the way. Okay, so Michael, is restraining that, fighting off the devil until a time period that he is taken away, or he is told to stand still. Stop fighting. All right. So,
And that will be,
let me get this. What's that?
that will be at the rapture?
No, this is the start. This is the start of the 70th week. Okay? There's this spiritual warfare going on all the time. And then at the start of this week, things will go on as they have been going on for years and years and years. Okay? And then God finally says, that's enough. Michael stands still, and then he's going to let all this stuff unfold in this week.
And then that will be at the overthrow of human government by the Antichrist.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. You're correct, but it's a little more in depth. I wish I could get this thing to work.
Oh, hold up, I see what's up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead and try now.
There we go. Okay, so Michael, the great prince who fights for Israel, is commanded by God to stop. Okay, I just wanted to kind of establish that so we understand that there is a starting point for this. So we'll go ahead and read Daniel 9:27 if somebody wants to read that.
He shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abomination he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and the garment shall be poured upon the desolate.
Okay, so here we see that there's another person mentioned. If I can get this. All right. So Daniel's 70th week here. We'll see if we can break this down. If I can get this thing work. Okay. He will make a covenant And I have a little side thing here. It says treaty, a covenant or a treaty with many. All right. And then it says, I think you said in the midst of the week. Mine says in the middle of the week. It says in the middle of the week, he ends sacrifice and does an abomination that makes desolate. All right. And then the end of the scripture is the consummation, and just the definition of the consummation is completion, its end, its perfection of a word. So that just kind of lays it out there. And I went ahead and put this, separated this, because we can separate these things. We can see the beginning, we can see the middle, because it has a beginning, and it has a middle, and it has an end. Okay? So that's...
He's going to be a smooth talker.
What's that?
He's going to be a smooth talker.
Well, see, that's why I wanted to show you that the mosque, the Muslims have that on the dome of, it's the Dome of the Rock where the temple can be. So somehow he is going to convince the Muslims to let the Jewish people build a temple. And that is going to be, really something. So, let's see. Yeah. So, who is the he here?
It's the Antichrist.
All right. He has power to make a covenant, a treaty. Is he a ruler?
He will make himself out to be one.
That's right.
And I think the people will be deceived to think that he is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look what he's doing for us.
When they say peace and safety, destruction lies at the door, Okay, so let's go to Daniel 7, 23 through 27. And like I said, these are familiar verses to us. I just want to, kind of point out these things and as reminders of, just how this is tied together. These just aren't random things that are said, that are prophesied. And Daniel 7, 23 through 27, if somebody wants to start reading, and just read one or whatever.
Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces.
24. And the 10 horns of this kingdom are the 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them. It shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue the great king.
25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the sayings of the Most High, and to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time.
26, but the judgment shall set, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end.
27, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
Okay, there's a lot of information in this. Okay, so talking about the fourth beast here, this is a section that we actually didn't go over, but these beasts, they're numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the metal man, okay? The first one is a lion, the gold head. The second one of the arms. It's the Medes and the Persians and the Greek, and then the Romans, okay? This fourth one is a little different, okay? And it said, shall devour the whole earth and trample it and break it to pieces. We go back to the 10 horns, or the 10 kings, and they shall arise. There's some kind of coalition of 10 kingdoms, But there's going to be one that arises out of there, and Lynn, you were right, but he's going to subdue 3 of them. And we're going to see this in Revelation 2, because we're going to go there. But he somehow he conquers 3 of these nations, and then there's 7 nations left and him. Okay? So, and look at this in 25 there. He's speaking pompous words against the Most High.
That's scary.
Yeah. Speaking against God. He's persecuting the saints of the Most High. And even more interesting is that he intends to change times and law. And that's, that's pretty.
A lot of power.
Yeah, he's got a lot of power because he's got the dragon, he's got the devil, right behind him. But then as you go in 25 there, the saints shall be given into his hand for a time and times and half a time. Do we remember what that time period is? What does 3.5 years? So remember the start, and then the middle, we had 3.5 years, okay, and then 3.5 years, and then the end, okay. So just kind of, alluding to that, and like I said, you're going to see this a lot. This 3.5 years, this 42 months, this 1,260 days, and all aligning up with this week, this last week, okay? But it says there's going to be a court shall be seated, and they shall take away his dominion. He's going to be destroyed, and then this other kingdom.
I know who does it.
Yeah. And this other kingdom is going to be an everlasting kingdom. And where was that prophesied? Daniel 2. We saw that in Daniel 2. The rock comes and smashes that metal man that Nebuchadnezzar dreamed about and turns it to dust, and then a mountain appeared, and that's the kingdom of God, and it's an everlasting kingdom. All right. Okay. Let's see if we can go to the next one.
Well, that was simple.
All right. And this one's all, I don't know what my PowerPoint skills are, not the best, but Revelation 17. Let's go there. Like I said, we have read these before, but, it ain't going to hurt to read them again. It gets it into our brain, and we can look for these things, and we see, as soon as we see 10 horns or 7 heads and 10 horns, know exactly what they're talking about. And that's, we'll read verse 3 and then 9 through 11.
Verse 3, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
9. And here is the man which hath wisdom, the 7 heads or 7 mountains, on which the one sitteth.
10, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
11, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition.
Okay, so we see here again the 7 heads and the 10 horns. All right, and these kingdoms, the 7 heads are the kingdoms, the 10 horns are these kings, and there's 7 mountains. It's just like the, when we see in Nebuchadnezzar's dream about the mountain that grew, that's a kingdom, that's the everlasting kingdom. So if we go off of that prophetic illustration, we can understand that the 7 mountains are kingdoms. The beast now here is the 8th kingdom. And I want you to understand, John was writing this in, I think we looked it up one time, in 90 AD or somewhere around there, 89 AD. and he's saying here, he's saying that 5 have fallen, all right, and 1 is. So John's living in the time period of the 6th kingdom, okay, or these 6 kings, all right. And then there's going to be another one to come, and then there's going to be an 8th one, and the 8th one is going to be part of all these other kingdoms that have been, because it says the beast that was and is not is himself also the 8th, all right, and is of the 7, and is going to perdition, going to be destroyed, going for destruction, okay. I know it's a little bit confusing, but, there's going to be, these kingdoms are going to be set up, which makes you really want to look at, how things move around in the world, what's going on. Most importantly, look at Jerusalem, and see what's going on in Jerusalem. Don't be scared of it, but look at it. It's interesting to see how things are going to happen. And that's it, and I was listening to the sermon, about, the great hope that we have is that we won't see God's wrath. We're not, what is the verse? I can't remember. We're not something to wrath. Oh, I can't think of it. But, we're not going to see God's wrath. Noah did not see God's wrath. Lot did not see God's wrath. Okay? We're going to be out of here before there's going to be any wrath. So I don't want to scare anybody or anything like that, because our blessed hope is that we will not go through the wrath of God. We won't see the wrath of God. Okay, so Daniel 7:8. Back to Daniel. I should have done this.
My Bible automatically opens up to Daniel.
Yeah. Yeah. I know we've been in it a long time, but it is so very, very important with the...
Jeremiah
on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Daniel 7:8. Chapter 7, verse 8.
I considered the horns, and behold, there came upon among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
Amen. So here again we see that there's going to be a little horn that comes up. He's going to pluck 3 of them out, the other horns out by the roots. And then it says he has the eyes of a man, and he has a mouth speaking pompous words, are great things. So we can definitely see, Lynn, like you were talking about, he's going to have to talk. He's going to have to be a sweet talker to get the Muslims to let them build the temple up there.
Really, honestly, because truly, of religions of the world, I think the Muslim is so strong.
Oh, yeah.
Very,
Oh,
very
yeah.
strong. So this person is absolutely going to be overwhelming to them.
Yeah, that's what's so amazing to me. I don't know how it's going to happen, but God's got his plan. He's going to use this person, and he's using all this, to the consummation, to the end, to the perfection of the word, so yeah, it's really awesome. Revelation 13, 1 through 8. I don't know why I didn't just put them all together. But. I'll give you a break. I'll read that one. I know you guys read a lot. Like I said, I hope you don't mind, and I hope you don't mind flipping back and forth, but I want you to see that it's everywhere. It's all in here, So, chapter 13, 1 through 8. Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads a blasphemous name. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard. His feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power his throne and great authority. Remember, if you go back in Daniel, and if you want to read that, I believe it's in, I can't remember where it's at, maybe chapter 3 or chapter 4, where you can read about the lion, the leopard. These are these kingdoms. And I actually think it's either, I think chapter 10 or I think it's chapter 11 has over 100 prophecies in it. And I watched a video about it, and it was really, really cool. But it is kind of boring too. But it's a history, of all these kingdoms and stuff. And in verse 3 there it says, I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world marveled and followed the beast. What happened here?
Well, it's kind of like portraying the Antichrist as Christ with the resurrection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There's a deception right there. I mean, hey, this guy's dead. All right.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. He's risen again. Here he is.
He must be.
He must be. He must be the Christ.
Yes.
And we'll get into all how much more that means when we like I said, when we go to Matthew 24, when we go to these other scriptures and stuff about in the Gospels and Mark and Luke, talking about here he is. He's in the desert. He's in the inner rooms. He's here. He's there. Jesus is here and everywhere, and he's not. So they worship the dragon who gave authority to the beast. So they're worshiping Satan. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Remember anyone else walking out on their terrace and, just saying all these pompous words about, look at me, look at what all I've done. Remember that back, Nebuchadnezzar did that? And then he was given a mind of a beast. And he was like a donkey, and he ate, and he laid out in the grass and everything. So, and in 5 there, and he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and he was given authority to continue for 42 months, which is 3.5 years. Then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God. So after these 3.5 years, he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. And it was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. Remember, we just read that in Daniel, all right? Now here it is in Revelation. And authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation, and all who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. Okay? Remember that in verse 8. We just read that in Daniel chapter 1, or chapter 12, verse 1. So the book of life was back in Daniel. Here it is in Revelation. All right, so this is a pretty evil person. Probably one of the most evil people on ever to be. So let me get here to this one. This one here will finish up the beast, the Antichrist, and then we'll be done. Let's see here. Come on, there we go. 2 Thessalonians 2:4. We'll read a little bit more about him. Okay, I'll go ahead and read this. It says, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. This guy wants to be God. He's in his temple. Very important. He is sitting in the temple. All right, 2 Thessalonians 2, 9 through 10. The coming of the lawless one is according to the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. And there's other places, I believe in Revelation, that he'll be able to deceive many. He can even call fire from heaven to deceive them. So God allows these things to happen. You know, because like I remember what I said about back in Job. You know, the devil had to ask permission to do these things. So, and in verse 10 there, and with all unrighteous deception among those who perish, because they did not receive the love of truth, that they might be saved. Okay? So the unrighteous are going to perish because they just, they didn't love truth. They believed the lie. You know, so, but, yeah, we'll go ahead and stop right there. Like I said, so with the he in the beginning of Daniel, I think we can see that this is the Antichrist. You know, so he starts off with a treaty, and we can see that he's got, you know, the lying mouth, you know, to do this, and to somehow make it possible that there's a temple on the temple, you know, where the Dome of the Rock is. So.
If it sounds too good to be true, it probably
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
With him.
Absolutely. So, all right, we'll stop there because, like I said, we got the business meeting, and then we'll go ahead and pick up with the rest. Like I said, there's a lot of information in here, and I mean, if you look at it from the beginning of Daniel 9, verse 24 to verse 27, it goes, like I said, remember, it goes from the time that they're going back to the exile to the end of, you know, the life as we, you know, I guess, to the end until all the prophecies are fulfilled. So, say it like that. All right. And that's probably about all my back's going to handle. So.
Get white chair.
Well, it was 3.5 years.
Yeah, 3.5. Yeah. 42 months or 1,260 days. Or times and half a time.
All right. Thank you, Mike, for